Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon. Today we're gonna watch back and review some of my old footage from a game that I played, I think it's like 2 weeks ago now. This was over at Rocket Padel in the Battersea Power Station in London. And it wasn't necessarily a full match, it was like a advanced match play where we actually got to play with their head coach, Alfonso. So I can tell you more about it, but how about I just get the video back and we can just watch it together. So starting now. So as we get this video started, basically there was an organized thing at Rocket Padel here where you and 3 others could sign up to a session through Playtomic, and we get to play with Alfonso. Now he's closest to the screen on the right. He's the head coach at Rocket Padel. And then you've got myself closest to the screen on the left, Jaydn. And then we are actually both playing, the 2 opponents on the opposite side of the court is Bruce, he's on our left. He's the taller guy there in the grey shirt. And then we've also got Diogo on the right, on our right, on the back there in the white shirt. And so basically what it is, it's a 90-minute session. Each half an hour, we rotate. So for the first half an hour here, or the first section of this video, I'm on the same team as Alfonso. He's obviously the best guy on the court, and he's going to give me tips throughout that half an hour, mainly from like tactics and strategy side of things, on how should we be approaching the point, where we should be positioned, how we should anticipate things. And then after each 30-minute session between myself, Diogo and Bruce, we have a 30-minute slot with Alfonso. So I think the whole concept is super beneficial for everyone involved. I have a feeling maybe at the Rocket Padel at Ilford in London, Jake, the head coach there, also does that. But it's a good opportunity to get some match play in, but also work on some tactics. It's not so much about shot technique or that kind of thing, but it's more shot selection, like what you should be doing each point. So I think that was excellent. So a bit more background on Alfonso. I think he's actually in the GB team at the moment. He told us he's training at the moment to qualify for the next Europe Championships or something in summer. So he's definitely up there, and you'll see in the highlights here, there's some times where he decides to just absolutely humble us and show us what he's actually made of. Like, he's not really moving much on the court, and not that he needs to. He's more just watching how we play. And to be honest, when Diogo and Bruce are facing myself and Alfonso, they're going to hit 90% of the balls to myself. But the interesting points that I think I picked up during these, I did 2 sessions 2 weeks in a row. They're the only sessions I could get in on. They get booked up pretty quickly, and I'm not sure if Alfonso's even doing them anymore. But I was fortunate enough to get booked in on a couple of these sessions. But the main things that I was learning today, and it was all 3 of us, was just there was a lot of easy balls that were coming our way, and we'd just try and do too much with it, and we just would force we'd just make an error. And he'd just look at me and be like, "Why did you do that? Like, just keep the ball in play and and move on." And that was a bit of a reality check. Like, I think whenever we get caught up in the hype of a match, even if it's just with our mates, all you want to do is try and hit the winner. But if you actually look back at the stats, 90% of the points are due to someone making an unforced error. And it sounds simple to, when you actually say it out aloud, but in practice, when you're actually doing it in a match, not a lot of people are just keeping the ball in play. The other thing that he pulled us up on at some point was communication when you and your partner are coming back to receive a lob off the glass. The person who's not going to take that next ball should be speaking and communicating about where the opponents are. And I usually do that, but my communication's limited to the point of where I'm just saying both up or both back. Whereas you can be a bit more definitive than that. There was some points there where, say myself, I'd go and make a lob now, and Alfonso purposely stay back. I think that's a good example right there, actually, where Alfonso decides to stay back, he wants to hear Diogo, the guy who was not receiving that ball, to be telling Bruce, Alfonso's back, Jaydn's up. Then we got a little bit more into the intricate side of the comms, like you won't always remember on a first name basis who you're playing. So do you say crosses up or crosses back, or line is up, line back? Yeah, I'm still a little bit unsure as to what the widely spoken protocol is, and maybe in the chat, in the comments, you could help. Like I thought, well, maybe you just go left is up, left is back, but sometimes it's just hard to, because you got to say it quickly and you got to know exactly what you want to say. Today, during this match, it was more easy for me to just say, Bruce is up, Diogo's back, but you can't say that all the time. So that was interesting to learn of. The other thing was myself in particular, and to be honest, I've done some other training recently over in Rocks Lane Chiswick with Ali Grillo, and he's picked it up as well. It's like, myself, I thought, oh my gosh, my overheads, my vibras, I've had a couple lessons, I think I'm coming and making some improvement, but they're nothing to be afraid of. Like I'm keeping them in play, but they're floating up off the back glass. And if a good enough player knows that they can move forward off the glass and actually attack off that. And so, to be honest, I think I need to go back to the drawing board a bit, get a bit more track, and then we go with Alfonso just trying a cheeky pop out. Definitely keep an eye on Alfonso this match. There's some highlights to watch out for, especially the last clip. You'll have to stick around until the last clip and let me know if you think that point was my point or the opponent's point. It's a great clip. I'll say that's all I'll say. But yeah, on the vibras point, I think like there's a couple cues that I've been improving on, and I feel like when I'm hitting my overheads, I'm a little bit more side on, which is good. And one of those main cues is like, I'm a right-hander, is like keeping my left hand up high. And then the other thing is racket well behind the head. So there's a couple cues there that I think I'm doing well on, but that actual connection point with the ball, I think my racket is still facing like way too vertical. No, actually that's fine. It's more, I'm giving it a bit too much topspin. Whereas with your vibra, everything I keep getting told is you need to maximize the side spin, which I think I'm not doing. And that just makes the shot a bit more aggressive, a bit more difficult for the opponent to pick up. So I think I'm going to try and get in a lesson or two in the near future to just work on that. But it's actually so funny with the progression of paddle. Like for a couple of weeks there, I was like, yes, I've got my overheads dialed. Like I've improved a lot there. And then have a couple more training sessions, or you play against some people that are actually another level above, and you go, that's actually just not good enough. Like you can't keep the front of the court with that kind of shot. So yeah, that was that. As for the guys that I did the session with in this video, Bruce and Diogo are great competitors. This was a great session. So I've actually played once or twice with Bruce since, which has been good. The location, Rocket Padel, what a venue. This is probably between this and Padium in Canary Wharf. I have to say these are the two most premium clubs in central London. Like, especially this site here, it's so close to my home, so accessible, right on the River Thames there. It's just lovely, completely covered venue. It's not climate or like temperature controlled, which would be a nice to have, especially during winter here in London, and you're just playing in cold temperatures all the time. The ball's not moving that quick. But on the flip side though, I played it at this location just last night. It was the hottest day of the year. It was like 27 degrees, and oh my gosh, for the first time in like 6 months, I've realized what a hot climate can do to the ball. We're also playing with a new set of balls, and they move so quickly. It's a completely different game that I wasn't used to. There's Alfonso with a pretty effortless topspin smash, managed to keep it in play. Effortlessly keeping the ball in play amidst all my attempts to beat him. Yeah, he's just mucking around with us at this point, isn't he? It's a nice rally, actually. Yeah, it was a really competitive play. I think there was a lot of rallies which just went on and on and on. I think that's what you actually want in a good paddle match. Like sometimes you go and you link up on play tomic with a few people, and every point only lasts, either it's a serve like ace, or someone returns a serve immediately and it's a 2-point rally. You don't get many long rallies, and actually that happens more so, I feel, when you're playing in London and you're playing outdoors. The conditions might be a little moist, there might be a bit of wind in the air. It's just so much more prone for all parties in the match to make errors. Whereas here you're playing undercover, the conditions are fixed, they're set, the court, the surface is nice as well. Like this is the same surface that all the pros play on the paddle tour. Like essentially you've got no excuses when you're playing in this sort of environment, because everything works well. The balls that you're using at the club are nice and dry, they haven't taken up any moisture, or you're just cracking a new set of balls. I think I managed to beat Alfonso once or twice this whole match, and even then, he's not in match mode. He nearly swiped that shot off the side glass to get in. Crazy stuff. Yeah, the other topic I put down to talk about here is frequency of play. I feel like the sweet spot for me at the moment is like maybe two sessions a week, whereas this week's just gone by. So this video was filmed maybe like 2 weeks ago. Alfonso with a cheeky drop shot to finish off the point there. This last week I think I've played 4 times, and I'll be playing 5 times during the whole week, which is all up about 11 hours of paddle. I don't think my legs can actually keep up. Like I'm just not giving them enough time to recover. And I feel like it's actually impacting my quality of play. And maybe it's because I'm so tall, but it just so often feels like when I'm playing paddle for a 90-minute match, it's like a perpetual squat for 90 minutes. You're always got to be sort of on your toes, but also leaning down and making sure you're in line with the height of the ball as it's coming off the glass, or when you're doing a volley, you need to make sure you're well sitting down, but your racket's standing up high. My quads and my legs get so fatigued, and I feel like there's this whole balance between you want to maximize the amount of time you're playing paddle just to get reps in and improve at the game and just learn how to connect better with the ball. But then on the other hand, 1, you're risking injury, and 2, you're just getting more fatigued. And oh my gosh, I'm not sure if you caught that, but Bruce just absolutely smashed an overhead straight into Alfonso's ankle. This is coming off earlier in the session. Bruce had an opportunity, he was in the front court, Alfonso gave him a relatively easy low shot and the easy option to win the point. Bruce just had to smash it back into Alfonso, give him no time to react, and either Alfonso misses it or it just hits into his body. And obviously you apologize, but if you're in a competitive match setting, you got to do what you got to do to win the point. So Bruce listened to Alfonso's instructions, and a few points later, Bruce, full power, pelts the ball straight into Alfonso's ankle, and Alfonso made sure to let Bruce and everyone know for the next 10-15 minutes that his ankle was swelling up and bruising. Well, that's what you get, coach. Yeah, back on the topic of the frequency of paddle, it'd be interesting to hear in the comments section, what do you think the right amount of times, the correct amount of times you should be playing paddle per week to keep improving, but also not to overdo it. The last thing you want to do is cause some sort of injury due to just general fatigue that leaves you out of paddle for like a month plus. That hurts so much more than not getting enough paddle in. The other thing I just thought is mentally, if your body's fatigued and you're generally not getting enough sleep and whatnot, you've got to be so locked in when you're on the paddle court mentally to anticipate where the ball's next going. I feel like when I've been playing this week and playing so much paddle, I'm just sort of standing on the court and reacting as opposed to being more proactive. So yeah, it's been fun this last week playing so much paddle, but at the same time, yeah, I feel like 2-3 times per week tops is the right frequency to play. But anyway, I think there's about a minute or so left on this match play highlights. I'll leave you to watch the last highlight on your own. Let me know what you think of it. It's pretty impressive. But thanks for watching, guys. I'm not sure when I'll upload another one, but yeah, keen to record more footage, review, critique, figure out what I got to work on next. Thanks all. Have a good day.
Sometimes the small assets, they stretch.